right. Looks like sound is on and I am up and running. Welcome. Illustration live stream. Don Higgins. I am. Well, let's do the credentials first. Art director for FASA Games, working with several different lines for them. I am working with Champions Challenge and Hey Penny Pie. They're two webcomics, graphic novels. I am the author, illustrator for those. I work within Hey Penny Pie, or sorry, 1879 with that game system. I also have a little dabbling with Earth Dawn. I am also the art director for what has just recently been announced, being the game system Aetherstream for FASA Games, and that's about all I'm allowed to talk about. However, I am going to work on a piece that is related to the game system for FASA Games Aetherstream. I am not allowed to really say a lot about it. I'm being watched, from what I understand, from powers on high to make sure I don't overstep and run into spoilers or anything else like that. Quite honestly, I don't know an awful lot. They don't tell me an awful lot, but there are things that they need me to create as artist and art director for the system. So I'm going to get involved with that here in a minute. I'm going to pick up the habit that I have done in the past couple of live streams, in that I am going to give a shout out to Jason Momoa once again. Why? Because a while back I was asked if there was anybody at all I could have sit for me and draw them. If I had my choice of anybody I could have sit in the studio and draw them, who would it be? And I'm like, anybody? And they said anybody. Jason Momoa. Why? Because the guy just seems to have a lot of fun no matter where he goes. I think it would be awful lot of fun to sit and have a pint with him while I talk art and creativity and whatever is going on with him, and draw his picture while I'm doing it. So again, if you know Jason Momoa, Mr. Momoa, if you are out there and this gets to you, there's Guinness on ice waiting for you right here. Just let me know. So, having done that, I have the feeling there's a publicist out there going, why does this guy keep bugging Jason Momoa? Sorry. It's a thing. It's weird, yeah, but like I said, guy seems like it'd be fun. Anyway, so the project of what I'm working on. As I said, the chat room seems to be open. If anybody is out there and wants to chime in, say something, talk about something related to what I'm doing, I will do my best to look at what is coming up. So, on my screen here. So, first things first. Part of the game system I've been the thing that they've tasked one of the things they've tasked me to do is create pilots. Not going to go really deep farther into what it's for, how it's being used, what blah 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 blah. Don, we want you to create a pilot. Okay, I'm creating several pilots, as well as other artists for this this game. I'm running real close yet. I'm being watched. The people are watching and making sure I'm not going too far. I was asked to draw pilots. I've done some, and I have recently tapped sources of mine to create several pilots. So I go to people that I know, hey, can I use your face? And one of those people that I am using his face is my future son-in-law. Let me see if I can bring this up here. He said, "Yeah, you can use me as a pilot for Aetherstream," and so I took his a quick photo, candid photo. Boom, there he is. So, hello to everybody who's chiming in so far. That's my son-in-law or future son-in-law, and he is going to be transformed into a pilot. So what do I do? It's an illustration live stream. I take that photo and I sit down with paper and pencil and I start drawing my future son-in-law. And that comes out looking, let me see if I can pull it up here. There he is. There he is. Ah. There. There's the original paper version of my future son-in-law, Matthew. So, I take that, I scan that in, and from there, we go to, see if I can get my system to cooperate with me here. Boom. Come on, where are you? There you go. There. I draw his picture. I took out blemishes, I took out his beard. Boy, does he now have a baby face. So what I'm going to do now with that pencil drawing is I'm going to convert it to color. So I scan it, I duplicate the layer over here. You've got the original layer here. I duplicate it, set it to multiply so that I can paint underneath it and keep all my definition lines with the pencil under over the top of it. Now, what I do here is I go to my color. There. Oops, it's on the wrong piece. Here, bring this over here. Come on, where are you? There you are. All right. Now, I'm going to pick my color. And hit OK, and then I go to my correct brush. Let's go to here. There we go. And then I get the right size. And I start filling in color. All right. Now I have, during the process here, edited my photo so that it goes right up to an edge. So I can do this and not worry. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some things here that are going to allow me to get rid of all this extraneous. I'll show you here in a second. Alright. Now, show you quickly what I plan to do. Let's go to that layer and my magic wand. Hit the magic wand and then hit the delete button. Oop, wrong thing. Edit, undo. Wrong layer. Hit that one. And all that extra is gone. So, now, let's go back to what I was doing. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this, there we go, reference. Got a nice base color on there. That is worth a hi Dan, I guess. Okay. Alright, so I guess Ross is on here too. Welcome everyone. Those are the guys, folks. Those are the guys. Anybody wants to badger people about the game, those are the guys. I don't think you'll get anywhere, but those are the guys. I'm just the art director, I mean, you know. Anyway, so I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go a little darker and continue with what I'm doing. All right. It's very loose at this point because I don't need to get into a lot of detail. I mean, it helps the fact that I've got stuff on here already. All right. Clean this up, do some stuff here. Big areas. All right. And how this is going to start to take shape of who this guy is beyond my future son-in-law. There we go. Yeah, that's coming along nicely. All right. Leaving enough of the highlights in so that it still looks plenty of dimension. Don't want it to look flat. Now, I bet some of you are worried, well, Don, aren't you worried that that's going to start looking muddy with the pencil lines on top? No, because I've done this enough times that I know what's going to happen and how this is going to change with each passing color. And then we'll bring up more color. Alright, a little darker. See, build up, build, build, build. A little darker, building, building, building. Building. Still keeping it nice wide brush, nice and loose. Still leaving some highlights in there so that it's still dimensional and looking cool. He hasn't seen this, by the way. I am, Dan, I am using my, you can see this. This is the stylus for the Cintiq Pro 24. And I'm using a pen, not the mouse. And I'm drawing on my Cintiq. I can't actually put this through a lot of movement because I don't want to get anybody sick from the movement, but I am actually using the Cintiq Pro 24 to create this image. And now I've reached the point where I need to get a little more of a different shade. There we go. And I'm going to bring this in a little. And there we go. You see what I've done here is I've added a little more red into what I'm doing, a little more magenta, so that breaks up the monotony. Can't be one flat color and gradations of that color. You gotta add a little bit more to it. Give it some depth. There we go. I'll show you something interesting in a little bit when I paint this, because I'm going to use complementary colors or contrasting colors to add shadow. Just barely touching this the Cintiq the screen here. Just barely touching it because I don't want to go too heavy-handed. Because I mean, if you do that, yeah. Fortunately, ha! I love digital. I can do that. I can make it disappear. And we're gonna hit some of these things. There we go. All right. Very nice. Very nice. One of the things I had to promise, because he knows this is being done, he just hasn't seen it yet. But one of the things I had to promise is to clean him up. My daughter, his fiance, has already requested the original. I want it. I want it. So she's going to get that. But it was actually fun doing an actual portrait for this piece. I guess he's going to have bragging rights, folks. Yep, the tablet has a screen in it. This Cintiq allows me to draw directly onto the image. Or in this case, since I'm working in Photoshop, I'm working under the image, so I don't lose any of my information. Now we're going to bring this brush in a little bit more. Change the color. Darken it. even more and bring this. I'm going to change my brush to that. And we're going to bring the brush way down, way down. Start doing this. Where are my darkest darks? Yeah. Right now all I'm working on is the skin tone. Darkening some things up, shadowing. Shadowing not with black. I'll get into that in just a second here again. Remember, I'm not going to shadow with black. I'm going to shadow with complementary color. Even though it looks like I'm shadowing now, I'm actually going to be coming back here. Something else to build the shadow. Here we go. I'm sorry your tablet is a little old school, but that's where I started as well, and started to form an opinion on digital because of it. And if there are artists out there who have formed an opinion solely on the hard to use bamboo, because what you're doing is drawing and looking up like this. That's a skill I could not develop, and I hated digital because of it. But now that I've got the Cintiq, loving it. Loving it. He's really starting to come together. Really starting to get an appreciation here. Again, building up. Don't try and get it in one pass. Build, build, build. There are times I've heard of people who said, well, I tried to do it. I went in and I picked my color and I put it in and it didn't look right, so I went back to my old way of doing things, which was not digital and doing things differently, just to stick with what I know. And if you give up on one shot, you're never going to get anywhere. It's all about experimentation. Find it, build. You can't do things in one shot. You got to build up on it until you find your speed. All right. Now I keep talking about hitting complementary color. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring up color and let you see what I'm doing. I am going to go, because I know the color wheel well enough that I know that green is opposite to red. And even though I'm not doing absolute red and absolute green, I'm going to do it enough and on a different layer so that it doesn't blend with what I've got, it sits on top of it. Bring this opacity up. And this allows me to shadow areas without blending. See what it does there? Now, do you see green? No. You see a combination of green and red. Allowing me to shadow an area and giving it interesting view. And even if some of the green shows through, it's not that bad. It's not, it just adds. Alright, here we go. Now, I'm going to zoom in here. And I'm going to get rid of some stuff on the correct layer. Let's hit my eraser tool. We'll bring that down. Some of this excess stuff. All right. Now I'm going to go back to my color. There we go. And we're going to darken this up, and I'm going to go to, come, hit OK. Hit some of these areas that need to be dark, 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 dark. Remember, what I'm going to be doing here in a little while is going back with white and hitting some of these things with white. All right. Got to hit some of this. There we go. some hair there. Right. Some of these things. All right. Well, honestly, guys, those of you, the three gentlemen, I was expecting possibly a little bit more rush of interest of people wanting to check out what was special about today, but it looks like I'm not going to be getting any hit with any major questions unless you guys want to say something. Got any questions for me, folks? Okay, and now I'm going to bring this color down again to here and hit underneath his eye. Get the color of his iris in. And this is my process, guys. I mean, you've been seeing me do quick sketches for the past few weeks. Better part of a year. This is the process. For this. Now, for a white area, that is, you don't want it to stay white, but you don't want, and you just don't want to opposite with black. You give it some blue. This allows me to make those eyes pop a little bit more. Go. Now, what do? I go into, I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to go into this layer and we're going to hit this and change some opacity again. Oh, there it is. All right. Isn't that nice? Now I'm going to hit some highlight here. Change my layer, change this to that, and that, and change my color to white. And boom. There we go. All right. I'm going to open this up. There we have that. Now, let's go back to this layer, and I'm going to start filling in depth of his hair. Now, one of the things you might be noticing is that the color of his face on screen and the color of the photo isn't matching. What's on my Cintiq is closer to matching. When I get this onto that screen is when I start doing a better calibration of the final color. That's going through OBS, that's going through a lot of different programs. I've learned don't base the color of what I'm drawing on what I'm seeing through OBS. So when this posts, you'll see what I mean. Because I think just, yeah. All right. All right. Now I'm going to hit this area with color. Bring that opacity down some more. Just fill my base color. Don't lose what's there in the pencil. Alright. Okay. All right. Now I go to new. There we go. And we go up top here. And we hit this with that. Okay. Start hitting some of this. Starting to see. Oh, gonna give it a little bit more opacity. There we go. So it starts to look more like hair instead of blobs. Hit the highlights. There we go. And down to that. And there we go. Hit some of these things here. go down to, or back up to this layer. And we're going to hit some of these. That. Let's bring this on top. Okay, there's that. Alright, now I'm going to go back to this layer. And I'm going to hit Magic Wand. And go to that layer and hit the delete and get rid of all the extraneous. And then to this layer and get rid of the extraneous. This layer, get rid of the extraneous. Where else is it? Nope. Edit, undo, there we go. Deleted there, deleted there, deleted there. Okay. All right. Now. All right. Now. Give you a sneak peek here because I've got to go get some color. I am going to go and show you some of the other pilots that I've created. Just the pilots, not anything else involved with them. That one? Yes. And I'm going to pick a color here. Pick. Hit OK. Go back to this guy. Nope. This guy. There we go. And I'm going to fill with that color. Nope. Too much. There we go. Now bring that back down. About there. That's better. All right. Now. Get the basic colors in here. The important part in here is done. I mean, I got the face in, and he looks good. And then I'm going to hit these things, because some of that is going to go away. Alright, and I'm going to go back up here to, where are you? There. Kind of do this again. Get the right texture here. And again, we're going to hit this with a complementary color. There we go. Now, there. And then we're going to go back to that field and we're going to get another color. Hit OK there and go back to this. No, this guy. And we go back to the right. Yeah, we're on the right thing, aren't we? No. Where are we? There we are. Ah! Right tool. There we go. There we go. And we put this information in. Alright, then we darken this up. And a little bit more. Alright. And I'm going to hit some of these areas. Alright, now we're going to go over here. Hit that OK. I got to hit this with an eraser to get rid of something that I didn't know was there. Alright, now we're going to go back to this layer and the right tool. Alright. Now we're going to go back here and the right color. Put some white highlights on this. All right. And he's colorized. Now, the fun part. We hit File, Save, and I go back to this. Oops, got to save it first. Alright, now we go back to this layer. Magic wand. And we get all these layers and merge them. Merge, merge, merge. See how it all went down to one? So that I get all those layers, and then I go select inverse, that I'm getting just my son-in-law. Edit, copy. And then I go to that area. Let's give a quick look at the other one again so I get a general idea of where. So about that star and that break in the nebula, because there's information that's going to be important that I need to not have him slide under, that gets added later. And then we go to that. And I'm going to hit Edit, Paste. is. Now I send him into space. Now, see that hard edge here? What am I going to do with that? I'm going to go to my eraser tool, and I am going to get the right tool, and I'm going to soften that edge so that he blends into and doesn't give me a white line, the background. Alright, so there he is. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just, it's going to be hard to tell on through OBS, but I'm going to adjust my vibrance on him, because I've already done it to the background. And I'm going to, not so much, not so much. There we go. Not bad. And that, folks, is how I sent my son-in-law into space. I'll have to apologize to my daughter later, but that's how I send my son-in-law into space. Now, when I actually get this onto the calibrated screen, I will do some color situations with it so that it doesn't lose anything, and all my information is correct. Make sure everything is correct. And that is a pilot for Aetherstream. Tadar. Have I got any questions? Well, like I said, that's how I do it. There aren't any questions. I haven't gotten anything in. This will be on the illustration live stream posts for this. Again, this is about a pilot image for Aetherstream. Not getting any deeper into it. Again, I've had all the folks here watching and verifying that I didn't go into anything I wasn't supposed to. But as I said, this is how I sent my son-in-law into space. And I hope he appreciates this. But that's the process in a nutshell. The actual pencil illustration on this took a couple hours. And like I said, my daughter, his fiance, wants the original, so I have to do that. But this was a fun project. I've got some color correction to do in the calibrated version. But again, this shows you what I'm doing. It's something for Aetherstream, Foss's new game coming. And there's more information about the coming game coming in the coming days. So watch for that. I appreciate your time. And for anybody who has noticed or realized, I want to take a quick make a quick thank you to those who have noticed. Today's my birthday, 56, and this was a nice way to spend the day with you guys. As always, I will sign off. Once again, Jason Momoa, if you're out there, this is the kind of stuff I do, boss. Come and see me. Like I said, Guinness, waiting for you. Multiple Guinness waiting for you. We can sit, shoot the breeze. If anybody knows Jason Momoa or knows how to get to him, let him know. We'll see what happens. But until then, be kind to each other, be patient with each other, and when you draw what you see, not what you know. Me? I see dragons. Why don't you? Thanks for coming by.